Hi, this is Military Modeller Paul with a update on my HMS Nelson, the 1/200 scale one. I've done gone a bit further now. I've actually added the lower boats, the larger motorboats actually on the deck now. I didn't use the PE boats supports because basically I looked at it. No, you're not going to see much of them anyway. But what I did do is I used a plastic one. So when I glued the bottom boats on, it's actually a plastic to plastic bond rather than a super glue bond or a white glue bond. So I thought I'd make it a lot stronger. The other ones will be super glue on because it's going to be no problem there, but that won't be too much. Just cut the dots and bits and pieces on the actual boat stanchions are actually built into the kit boat that's sitting there as well. So you're going to see that anyway. I've also put the front bridge on now. That's on there. I've also put the top mast on the very top, so that's on the front one on the bridge. So she's basically complete the bridge part. I've also painted the actual white stripes around the actual mast. I did find a couple of photographs so you can actually see a difference in the mast on the there, so I went with that. I might have gone slightly too thick, but then again, when you look at the actual ship on some places, it looks a bit thick, so I've gone with that. I could actually make it smaller by going around and covering it with a bit of black again if I had to, but I'm not going to. I think it looks the part, and that's the main part. What else have I done? I've got all my dinghies now along the side, and I've actually put the tie ropes on the way I think they should be going, and by looking at pictures and getting some idea. It's not going to be exact determination because basically a lot of them used metal bar bits and pieces, so I've used easy line and done circles around to support it on there, and one horizontal one on the length of them as well. You'll see that in a minute anyway. So I've done those. I've also put the three dinghies on the back of the middle turret because that has three dinghies on the back. I thought I made a mistake and there should be more, but I think that's on the Rodney that there's a few more on the back, but on one of them. But anyway, so I've got those on there. I've put oars in every single one. So basically there's oars at the bottom if it's horizontal, and then sort of near the funny angles places for the oars that are at, and the four upright dinghies as well. So she's coming along. I'm getting quite pleased with it now, and we're on the last stages of this part. I mean, I've still got some bits and pieces to put along the actual main deck, which I've already got sprayed up and painted. It's just a matter of putting them on there as I go. So at some point soon I'm going to be bringing the hull down onto the modelling bench and start adding all those bits and pieces all the way down. And of course I can't add some of the cupboards on the rear end because they actually go up close to the actual superstructure of the upper decks, so that's what I need to do, and I need ladders to go down on as well, so I'm going to prepare those later. I think there's two to actually put on there, or two or three anyway, so they will be done. So that's it without further ado then. So we'll go down and have a look at her on the bench. See you in a couple of seconds. I'm back, and as you can see that I've put it round on the front of the bridge. It's a bit awkward getting the actual this in focus, but when I do me full reveal later on, it'll be downstairs anyway. I should have done this downstairs, but me granddaughter's here with me daughter, so I thought I'd better do it upstairs here. But you can see what I've done with the badge now. The badge, as far as I'm concerned, when you look closely, it actually looks like the part. So I'm happy with that. And that was using a very pointed paintbrush and getting all the colours in, starting around it, and then put a bit of satin garnish over the top of that as well. So that was okay. What's going on here? That's better. Got a bit more because it was flickering a bit on the screen, so I wonder what was going on. Sorry about that. Anyway, also I'd like to thank Jason from Model Kit Stuff for actually mentioning me during his video, and for some reason all my viewing for the last update went sky high, up to over 2,000. Never had more than 300 or 400 before, and to go up over 2,000 was unbelievable just for viewing. Just thank you very much for anyone in that group that actually looked at the video. Thank you very much. It was a real nice surprise to see, and thank you Jason for mentioning me as well. So I forgot to mention that earlier on when I was talking. So anyway, you can see I've got I'll put this bit basically got the badge done there. This is basically the brush I used, a very fine one. Well, no, this is a bigger one. I had a fine one, and done the details and the paint on it. And when you look at it on the front, it just looks like the badge because I managed to get it to get the paint to flow onto each bit, and using a little touch of the brush with it. Very awkward and fiddly. Now I might have been done better to actually paint it off the ship, because I'd have been looking down on it and be able to do more. But anyway, but I'm still pleased with it, so that's the main thing there. I'm going to show you the whole of it in a minute, but I think you can see. Coming around the side now. I'll go back. That's it. I'll go like that now. I think you can see now the dinghies all along the side now. I've got the oars actually resting in the bottom. There's 2 in each boat, so they're all that. It's on the other side as well. That went really well. I've actually, you might just see a bit of chrome here. That's the actual light. Now I haven't seen anything on the instruction just to show you the painting that bit green. If it has to be green later on, it will. But what I've got to do is I've done chrome on both sides today, not about an hour ago. So I'm going to leave that till tomorrow to dry, and then I'm going to go back in with clear red and clear green for the port and starboard side lights, and I think that'll just give a little bit of a extra detail. I hope it works out really well, and if it does, it'll be fine. But if I have to paint the red there, I will. But when you look at this ship in the diagram, it doesn't show it, and I'm not sure whether that would be the case or not. If it is, it's an easy job to do, to go back in here with a fine brush and put the green in there using Vallejo paints. Because it's easy, I can water it down and just give it a couple of thin coats or 3 thin coats to get it done. So as you can see on the dinghies going back to those, you can see the ropes going downwards, and then what you might not see so much is the ropes going across. So it's supported laterally both ways, so it's hanging there well suspended. When you look at this one, it's still supported that way, but it is got a rope going down, and the oars are there as well. So that I'm quite pleased with that. I'll just turn you around a bit more. Sorry about moving it, but I think this is a bit about the best way to do. And now we're getting back to the back of the mast, and I think you can see that now. These 2 boats are glued down now. Quite happy with that. And there's plenty of room there. And these are that. So underneath those plastic ones, you can see. I don't know why I bothered, but I actually drilled out the same number of holes on each one of those as what's on the actual photo etch ones. And what happened there is, when I thought about it, why put the photo etch one? Because I wasn't going to get a positive location, not really 100% positive. So what I used is the plastic ones with their pins, because the deck's still plastic underneath. Then used Revel contactor. Yep, there it is. This one here. Oops, go back a bit further. And that's what I used, and I put a dollop of that in each hole, and it worked really well. Now I actually use that glue to do certain parts as well. When you like putting the actual bridge on, to glue the bridge on, I put contactor using Ron Calvary's idea, where he actually puts it round inside, so when he puts it in place, it runs down and into it, and that's a good thing. And that's not quite so runny as what the Tamiya white, and I have got the Tamiya white that Ron uses, but I prefer the contactor for doing these things as well. I use that to put the boats down at night by putting them into the little V that's in each of the boat racks, and then a little bit on the top, and then that's it, and then push the boat down and just moved it slightly to get in the right position and way. Then I use the other boat as the positioning for the next the other one. So that's how I've done that. So, and as you can see now, you can see the mast. I've done actually the white all the way around it. I'm quite pleased with the way that turned out. I think you can see, you'll be able to see it's actually on all 3 masts in the background as well. Really pleased with that. That took a little while. I used Vallejo again. I used Vallejo white. I think I mentioned that in the last video. And what I should have done is used it a little bit more diluted, but once it dried, it's dried back quite nicely, so it's okay. So, and also, I forgot to get it out, but the turret, as I said earlier on, has got one of the big turrets has got the 3 dinghies on the back. Looking exactly the same as this, with their ropes tied round as they are there, because I've done them all at the same time, and that was really nice. So that done it as well. So if I just swing around a bit, sorry about this. There you go. If I do that, you can see it from that angle, and yeah. So as you can see, the top bit's on there as well. You can see the bottom of the top bit, and I'll show you a top-down angle in a minute to show you. But yeah, and just to prove the fingers are all on this side, and there they are there. And you Can you see? You can see a bit of chromey shine there. That's on that one as well. That's the starboard one. So that'll have a clear green on it. I've got the reel. I had a reel. I think you see the hose reels. I've got to do the other ones now because there's a load more on the bow to be done. I've already got them painted grey. It's just got to have the actual very light grey on the hose reels. It makes them stand out anyway. But I believe that's what the cars. When you look at the photographs, they seem to be that way. So I think it's coming along nicely. And I'm taking my time because there's no point in rushing this, because if I rush it at any point I could damage it, so that's why I'm doing that. So here we go. So if I bring back round, I don't know why I'm doing that. I'll do it anyway. Bring it back round, and I can zoom in a bit on the boats, I think. There we go. If I zoom in, there it is. That's better, best way. Yeah, whoops, I'll go back a fraction more. I think I can. Yeah, that gets it a bit more. But yeah, so there you go. Got the other boats to go on top of that. They will be super glue, so just put a little dab of thick super glue so it just sits there and doesn't dry so quickly. Then I can position the boats on the racks and that'll be them done. Yeah, so that's it. So if I just now come out in a minute and I'll show you from the top. So I'm just going to switch off briefly now, so be back in a second. Well, we're back here now for the top view, and I think you can see the mast quite clearly there, all the way through, and they're very fragile, just as Ron says about his. Very fragile. He puts those bars over. Well, I actually put the case over, as you can see, so I drop it in from the top and can see it. So as you can see, they look really not. I'm really happy with those, and it's looking. There we go. If I go a bit closer, that'd be better. I don't know whether to come a little bit. No, it's fine. But these are a model box I've put behind there to give you the idea of the masts are actually there. And yeah, I think you can see that quite nicely now. So that way and that way. There you go. Right, I think that's the end of this update. Once again, thank you for Jason for mentioning me on his website. Really pleased with that. I've got a bit more to do with this now, and I've got to do all the portholes on the deck, on the main hull as well, the crystal clear, because I haven't done that yet. I only noticed that when I looked into the case, I could see it's definitely not been done. But that's okay. So thank you very much for watching this, and look again, thank you for all those people that viewed the last video. I'm really shocked to see it go up that high. And as you can see, I've got a bit further along. It was fiddly doing those boats when putting that easy wire around. But it's worth it in the end, doing all the bits and pieces as you go along. So anyway, so I'm not going to waffle on anymore, and thank you very much, and I'll catch you on the next update. Happy modelling.